Business plan cover page. What's good look like? We're going to talk about it. As entrepreneurs and business owners, we know that if we have a clear plan, anything becomes possible. And if you can have a clear plan, a clear process to create that plan, and a way to create clarity with your partner or spouse, you can drive to amazing heights. So if you're in the process of finalizing a business plan and you're thinking, man, what is the cover page I want to have on there? There's a couple of different ways you can look at it. One is you may just have the name of your company, and you may have a simple line after that that defines what is the outcome you're providing. What is the outcome that people are going to achieve with this? The intention with this is it's going to get people to get a hook, and they're going to be interested in, oh, why? How do they do that? So when you start, think about that. Now, sometimes people will also just put a title, the name of the new business, and then they'll have the problem or the outcomes they're providing, and then they may have an executive summary. When you're starting with an executive summary, most people do it completely backwards. They want to tell everybody about the features, what we do, how we do it, all this other stuff. I'm going to encourage you to do it a different way and think about what are the outcomes you're providing. Now, if you haven't done this is actually going to help you with marketing. It's going to help you with a bunch of other places. But if you go through and write out 20 or 30 outcomes you're going to provide, what are things that are going to make a difference? Why would somebody, what is that like? Oh my God, if I can get that, how do I end up with that? So for me, as an executive coach, working with public CEOs, working with people all over the world, I started my first 16 companies when I was 19. This is what I'm wired to do. The outcome I provide is that I empower leaders to become amazing leaders and achieve more than they ever dreamed possible. Okay, that's kind of interesting. So that's the first thing, but start with very simple line. What is it you're providing? The next thing is, what is the problem you're solving? So the problem for me, when I'm working with executive leaders, is they know they're leaving something on the table. They have a feeling of imposter syndrome, perhaps. Maybe they're not being the leader that they know that they could be. Maybe they feel like they've got holes in the game, and they've got those insecurities. I would address those in the next couple of lines. So first, the outcome we're going to provide. The second is, what is the problem you're solving? And then third, in an executive summary, how are you going to solve it? How are we going to solve it? All right. Well, for me, it's with candid feedback, candid feedback, proven tools, and frequent availability so that they can reach out and we can talk and they know that they're going to be able to trust me. How do we establish those? So, long story short is how those are the primary tools when I'm engaging with somebody. The third thing then is, how am I unique? Well, I started my first of 16 companies when I was 19. I have built them, bought them, sold them, wrecked a few. I've written a book that is a bestseller on how to start businesses. I've helped companies go from entrepreneurial all the way to billion-dollar market caps. And then lastly, start talking about what the market is. And with the market, this is an area that I think people screw up a lot. When you think about the market, think about the niche you're in. When people say, oh, I only need 1/10 of 1% of this giant market, it's really, really hard to get into that market. But if you can keep narrowing it down, using your specific niche, something like that. Anyway, using the what is it that you're spectacular at, and keep bringing it down. So for me, there's businesses out there. I could say, oh, there's a gazillion businesses. Okay, fair enough. I could also bring it back and say, look, I'm really, really good with entrepreneurial businesses. Okay, that's a little bit narrower. I could also work and say, look, I have done spectacular work with people in certain fields, and give the fields. I happen to work really well with women that are open, looking to grow, and it's also with men. But the point is figure out what is your niche, and you narrow that down, and you put that in your executive summary. The intention is if somebody's reading through it, right off the bat, you're going to be able to go back and review. Hey, these are the outcomes I provide. This is the problem I'm solving. This is how I solve it. This is why I'm unique. And this is the specific market that I'm going after. Those things right there is 90% of it. You should be able to get somebody hooked with that. So if you found value with this, please follow or subscribe. Wow, I'm off today. Subscribe on the links below. We've got a whole bunch of other videos that talk about all sorts of other things. And if you have specific questions, please don't be afraid of reaching out and making some comments here. Keep smiling.